All right, so let's start with Microsoft. I wrote down the games that stuck out to me. I don't know if you guys wrote down some things that stuck out to you. I'll start on just a game. Maybe we'll do round robin on just games that stuck out to us on the Microsoft side of things.
Yeah.
Man, oh man, I'll tell you, ever since it came out years and years ago, I have always wanted to play this game. I never got around to playing it because I was always a Sega PlayStation kid growing up, Nintendo as well. But there was some things in there. There was some consoles that I missed. Like I had them in my house, but they might have been like in my brother's room. And so, you know, like the N64 and the GameCube, I never had those. I never had the original Xbox. I never had a 360 actually either. Like friends always had them, or the Sega Saturn. You know, I'd go over to a friend's house and play them. Fable.
Yes.
Man,
yes.
Oh man, I've never played Fable, and I am so excited to jump into this one.
Yes.
Have always, because I think they've had like 3 or 4 Fables, and I've never played any of them. And it looks like they're starting over with a remake. And I've never played it, and I cannot wait. Ed, were you kind of feeling the same way?
I was the same, and I would love, like, hit us up like at Twitter at MTTGCast. Do the originals hold up? Like, and try to look at it. I'm not
going back and doing that.
Try to look at it through an objective lens. Like, I thought Weekend at Bernie's was hilarious when it came out. It does not.
Yeah.
It is not a good film.
That's right. It does not. Age does not do it justice.
And I can admit that. So try to look at it through, like, does it hold up for someone who's never played it? Or should I just wait for this one to come out? Because this one looks amazing.
Yeah.
And once I play this one, I am not going to go back and play the old ones.
No.
So...
And I don't think you'll want to go back and play the old ones.
Right,
I think the old ones are like, I think it's like 15 years ago, if not longer.
Yeah.
And so, you know, most games from back then don't hold up well after we've kind of got our palate ready for these. Yeah, Fable came out in 2004. Wow. So we're talking 19 years ago.
Ooh. Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to play that.
Well, and maybe it's a story that's so good and so funny, because I hear it's really funny.
Yeah. Really?
Maybe the humor transcends the, you know, and
there's no way.
But I don't know. This trailer, as soon as
Richard
Ayoade, the narrator, as soon as I heard his voice, I was like, I'm in. They got Richard Ayoade in this game?
Yeah.
Who is that?
He played a character named Moss in the IT Crowd. He does a lot of voice work in animated films.
Okay. Because I recognized him. I just couldn't tell why I recognized him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too.
He hosts a lot of travel shows that are very funny.
Okay.
And
then to turn out he's a giant. You know, the way they shoot it at first, you don't know.
It's so great. It's so great.
So good.
So, I didn't know anything about. I knew of Fable. I want more. Like we got a lot of cinematic in this.
Yeah, of course.
It looked incredible. Now I want to see more. But I was like, okay, let's lead off on a good note, shall we? At Microsoft, well done.
I mean, a really good note.
It's a great note, and so I'm sure if there was a crowd in there, they would have been just freaking out. But this was like way to knock things out right off the gate. So that was great.
So we didn't get a release date. We do have that it's going to be available day one on Game Pass, as you would expect. And man, oh man, Fable. Ed, what was the next game that stood out to you?
Was it the first 3 they showed?
Yeah,
were all bangers.
Were all bangers.
South of Midnight.
Oh
yes. The animation style, first of all, was so cool.
Yes,
yeah.
I had Hunt Showdown vibes a little bit, which is kind of like that, kind of like the battle royale horror game set in the Deep South or set in the type of thing. But man, this animation style is so cool.
Yeah,
so cool.
Absolutely love that.
So cool.
I'm on board.
Voiceover was really dope.
Yes.
We didn't see obviously any gameplay, but it looked like you're kind of some kind of huntress.
Yep.
You know, and about to look like there's a little bit of magic in there and stuff like that. That I wrote that one down too. I was like, that
absolutely
looks incredible. Coming to Steam as well. And that one also I think was a Game Pass, a day one Game Pass as well.
Yep.
A bunch of just a cinematic. Yeah, just a cinematic, but man, oh man. Yeah, that looked dope.
I don't have to have gameplay to be like, oh, I'm interested. I would like to know more. Like you're showing me a good cinematic. You'll hook me. I'll want to see more.
Yes, I agree, but at the same time, I'm always scared that it's gonna. Now, this is not a knock, but like I'm always scared it's gonna look like Diablo, where you're like,
oh right.
Oh, this is a really dope game, but the camera's way up here, and you know what I'm saying, and it's not as involved as you think.
Yeah,
or a card game,
right?
Where you're like, oh, it's a card game. Yeah,
they do have great cinematics. You're so right, though.
Yeah, card games have ridiculous cinematics. The only thing they can lean on.
It's a mobile game. There, you're welcome.
Yeah. Tim, I'm guessing you're going with the third game that they showed, which was Star Wars Outlaws.
I'm going with 1 through 3, man. I was like, okay, Microsoft came to play. Like, let's go. These look great. I'm very interested. Now, Star Wars Outlaws is more of a Ubisoft game, but
it's going to be multi-platform. But they got to show it.
They got to show it, and that was fantastic. And the first 3 were the ones that I was like, okay, cool. Microsoft, you got something here.
Yeah.
Can I just also say that I loved that? I think like 3 times during and since their showcase, Microsoft has tweeted out, "Hey, not all the games we showed were exclusive. Play them wherever you want. We just want you to enjoy great games."
Yeah,
I was like, "That's
good.
That's
the messaging we need. Yeah. That's the messaging we need.
That's
exactly right. Yep.
Absolutely. Man, oh man, I tell you what, this grabbed me way more than the Jedi games.
Yes.
Survivor.
This looks awesome.
Jedi Fallen Order.
Yep.
And so, that seamless, I think it might have been during the Ubisoft that they showed like the seamless jump into your ship, fly into the air, fly into space, hyper jump to the next planet. Like that whole sequence, I was like,
so good.
Wait, this is all live? Like, where's the loading at?
Right.
Where you go from Earth to, or planet to space, then space to the next thing. And so I'm guessing during the hyper jump, that's kind of a load, as they do the stars. But that looked freaking dope to me. To me, it looked like you finally get to play Han Solo. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
it feels like you're an outlaw doing your thing out in the stars.
And what do we got? Let's go.
Obviously, you're playing as this lady. I forget what her name was, but I thought it looked freaking sick. And that one looked like a game one.
It might be like your standard Ubisoft, like fill the map with a dozen things to do or whatever.
Fine with that.
But just looking at it visually, I was like, "Oh, Ubisoft! I would not have guessed this was Ubisoft." Like, good on you. Well done.
Yeah, it looked really clean, and I loved it. And I love that you have your little companion there who can do some stuff for you too. And
that was fun. They showed that in the Ubisoft one. I think they showed the extended kind of like you can send them to distract or send them to push a button.
That's right. And they do a good job of that kind of stuff typically.
In Watch Dogs, they had that spider bot that I loved. And so this is kind of like Spider Bot almost, which I'm looking forward to putting to use.
Yeah. And like Brotherhood and some following Assassin's Creed games where you'd be like, attack that guy.
That's right.
And you kind of see like arrows come out of no place and take somebody down.
It's usually like a D-pad command or something. It's nice. That is definitely a top dog for me.
Yes. Yeah. So I think that's 2024. I don't know if we got an exact date on that one. I don't have one written down.
This what I'm looking at just says 2024.
Yeah. So if it's my turn, I'm going to go with 33 Immortals.
Really?
It was kind of that cartoony, reminded me a little bit of like Hades.
Yeah, I love the art style.
Yeah, the art style was really dope. You could play with 32 other people. I hope you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope it's not like forced co-op.
Yeah.
But it looked really, really fun to me. 33 Immortals. That's 2024 as well. First day. That's Game Pass day one as well. And don't know a lot about it. Watched a little bit more extended something on that. I don't remember what. At the Microsoft Extend press conference, the one I had no idea even existed until because Jeff Keighley kind of tweets out, "Hey, what'd you think about this?" And asks for a grade on the different press conferences, and he was like, "What'd you guys think about Microsoft Extend?" I was like, "The what?" And so I had to go find that and watch that, and they showed some more of 33 Immortals, and I think it's Phil Spencer and some other people playing it together. And so I think there's couch co-op and online co-op, which is kind of cool because there's not a lot of couch co-op games out there these days. So yeah, 33 Immortals kind of stuck out to me. Ed, what was another game that stuck out to you?
It's funny, Gabe, because we're just going down the line. I've never played one before, but that, again, another cinematic trailer, but Payday 3 looked kind of cool. I got to tell you.
I'm not doing it. Fool me once.
Right.
we had somebody in our community be like, we should all buy Payday and play it together. Then we all bought Payday and never played it together. So I'm
never
like,
played it once.
Wow. That's so funny.
I've got a bad taste in my mouth for Payday games, even though it's not Payday's fault.
That's so funny.
September 21st.
Yeah.
This year,
Yeah,
day
man.
one Game Pass. It's shoot 'em up, rob a bank kind
I'd
of game,
love to do
right?
that.
Work together to rob a bank.
Yeah.
That's right. And I remember, was it the first Payday or the second Payday? Like the trailer for it got all kinds of great. I think it won a couple awards because it did like a whole reverse thing. I can't remember.
Oh,
This is
yeah,
way
I
back
remember
in the
that.
day. I think it was a Payday
yeah.
game, and I remember that trailer. You remember when the first Dead Island trailer came out and everybody freaked
Yes.
out about it, and it was
I'm the
incredible.
bomb man, I'm about to give up. I'm the bomb man, I'm about to
Even
blow
before
up.
that one, the very first one with the really cinematic, like with the daughter. Do you remember
Oh,
that?
no, I don't remember that one.
Oh
No.
my gosh. So they do all of the sequences backwards, and it was really incredible and really
wow.
moving, and it won all these awards. And Payday did something like that as well, and I can't remember if it was for the first one or the second one, but it was really
Gotcha.
cool. But
Gotcha.
yeah, I've never played them. I need a little bit more from that. So
We should all buy it.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
Not gonna do it.
No.
But it's on Game Pass.
That's true.
That's
That's
cool.
true. Day one Game Pass. I gotta get that back and cracking.
There you go.
Tim, did you have anything else that stuck out to you at the Microsoft show?
What's funny for me is a lot of with the Microsoft showcase, I feel like they come out hard, right? Which is great. And I love that. And then I feel like they throw a lot of games at you. And
Yep.
in the past, I've noticed that a lot of those games seem to just kind of come and go. And like, you don't hear a lot about them. There's always a market for those, I'm sure. And people love different types of games. And I love the fact that there's basically a game for everybody, and they want to. I will say the next one after, and I'm sure we'll talk about Starfield later, was Still Wakes the Deep. I had a note, very deep,
Oh my gosh,
very Dead
really?
Space-ish. And so
Yeah.
I'm kind of intrigued by that one. I think that could be really interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing some more of that. But I love the title, Still Wakes the Deep. I think that's really cool.
Was that the one that was underwater?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had like this
know about
underwater, deep spacious
Yeah.
kind of vibe, and I'm like, okay, that could be cool. Ed's out because God knows what creatures
Yeah.
are down there, but
That's right.
it would be very, very cool. But feel free, like, scroll back up if you need to, and I will say I'm a big Dune fan, and the flight simulator with the Dune
Oh
expansion.
yeah, they did.
I
they did
loved how they made those machines.
Interesting.
Those flight machines in Dune. I love this new Dune release. I can't wait for the second part of it. Because I grew up watching the original 3-hour long with Sting Dune. That was just over the top.
Wow.
And you go back now, you're like, wow, this is terrible in some
Really?
places, but it was epic. In like just growing up, it was an epic movie. I loved it. And now that they're redoing it, I just loved the first one. And this, I was like, oh, they're doing Dune with Flight Simulator. Very smart, Microsoft. Good on you, because part 2's coming out this fall, I believe. So good on them.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I'm only bringing this up because Chris isn't here, and I wish he was here to speak on it.
Yes.
But Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2.
Oh, right.
I didn't love what they showed,
Yeah.
which
Really?
was just like that.
I'm with you.
I didn't personally, but you know what's funny? I've talked about this before. I have a really, really bad memory, and so I don't have any idea what I did in the first game, and so
Same, yeah.
I've got to like rewatch a story, thing. I'll have to watch one of those before playing Hellblade 2. What I do remember is that I liked it and that I liked it a lot,
Yeah.
and so it felt like she was just in a cave, and
With her thoughts.
her voices were talking to her, and I felt like that's all that happened.
Yeah,
I
agree.
In the commercial. And so I was like, let's get there for being 5 minutes long.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right, get somewhere.
So it just felt a little bit like I just didn't feel like I got anything out of it really for me personally. But I have a bad memory. And so Chris might be like, no, bro, they showed this, they showed that, and the voices said this, and that's totally a tie-in with the first one.
Right.
And I just don't know because I can't remember.
Yeah.
I was a little bummed that the actor that plays Senua, she started off by introducing the trailer and was like, we just finished mocap. And I was like, just finished mocap?
Right.
Yeah, she
Now
did
you
say
gotta
something
animate it
about
all?
yeah, she did say something about just tying up something, and you're like, so no time soon on this game
no
is what
way.
you're saying.
Okay,
No
so
way.
at the end of 2024 is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
probably.
Yes, because the first one came out 5 years ago.
That long ago?
Is that right? I think it was that. I think it was Sinuous Sacrifice came out in, let's see, 2017.
Wow.
So 6 years ago. So it's been a while. And so it feels like to just be wrapping up anything feels like, yeah.
Right?
Just wrapping it up. What have you been doing for 5
Yeah.
years? So maybe, we don't know. Maybe it's getting the story together. Maybe it's waiting for the tech to catch up to what they wanted to try to pull off and, and all these things. But I just remember really liking Sinuous Sacrifice. And so Sinuous Saga Hellblade 2, which they're calling it Saga. So it makes me automatically think there's going to be a third one as well.
Sure.
So we'll see. I just was underwhelmed by the preview because I felt like it didn't go anywhere.
I agree.
And I was
For,
like,
for all
we're
the
in this
hype-
cave and
Yeah.
I was like, we should have more than this, right? So I don't know. Edward, what say you on the next thing that stuck out to you on the Microsoft show?
I was surprised to see, I guess I shouldn't have been. I was surprised to see Overwatch 2 pop up in there. I did not expect that.
Man, oh man. And that felt like, I was like, I thought they weren't doing any of this.
That's right.
Is what it felt like to me. Explain. Go ahead and break
I think
down
what
us.
they're doing is they're taking a lot of what they had worked on, and that's the story missions that we're going to be getting are things that they. So they showed like Reinhardt's powerful hammer down, but they changed the trailer. So now instead of the 360 Earth Shatter you would have gotten if your skills had gone up, now it's just his regular Earth Shatter that they showed. So they kind of tweaked some things just to be like, well, you're still not getting a skill tree, but you're going to get to play some of these missions that we had worked on. So.
Yeah. And so it's just really interesting because it feels like on the heels of them saying PvE isn't coming, and then we see a full trailer that's like 33% PvE, it felt like.
Yeah.
If not more than that.
And their whole thing was, we're not doing PvE just as one big thing because you guys would have to wait a couple years for that. We're just going to feed you little story missions and kind of drip feed you. And so this is the 3 of the drip feedings will be in season 6.
Okay. And so let's talk a little bit about your foreshadowing that you did earlier when you said that they're going to be asking for more money from us. Why do you say that?
Well,
because we have to remember Overwatch 2 was free.
Right. Overwatch 2 is free. And we
always knew that the PvE was going to cost money is what it felt like when they announced it. Hey, we're going to release the PvP for free, and then we're going to charge for the PvE. But then people got so upset about the battle pass that it felt like they were already kind of dragging money out of people.
Right.
And then go ahead, Edward.
So they are going to, with season 6, you get 3 PvE missions, and they cost you $15
For all 3?
For all 3 for permanent access to them, which makes me think. So then, as you
what does that mean?
Yeah,
and as you continue to release more story missions, is it going to be $15 every time you release a season? With now they're they say depending on what tier you get, that also includes 1,000 Overwatch coins, which would pay for the battle pass. So if you bought the battle pass, it'd only be $5 for the story missions, and we're also including a skin that's worth $20, which I mean they can decide how much something's worth. How do you put value on something?
Yeah,
so I don't know. It's a little like you say, the sting is still there. So to be like, oh hey, we're not going to. I was fully prepared to give them $60 for the PvP the PvE standalone,
Right.
the 2 and Overwatch 2. And now it's like, oh wait, is it going to be $15 each time you release story? Because
A new
that's going to
season,
add
yeah.
up pretty quickly. So
It will.
So you'll pay for 4 of them, is what you're saying.
Well, I will. We'll just. It's also a bummer to me because I was really hoping that with the release of Overwatch 2 PvE, it would bring in new players to Overwatch 2 that would not play. And now I'm like, are they going to pay $15 to play? From what I've read, is a 30-minute mission. And I'm like, that's
really
a $15 for. Okay, let's say if all 3 of them are maybe 30 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, I don't know, for an hour and a half game. I can get a lot longer games for a lot cheaper.
Yeah. Sure.
It's, I don't know. They got to make their money, but they're also, it's not like they're not making their money because that shop is thriving.
Yeah. And a Blizzard spokesperson, this is from Forbes.com. It says a Blizzard spokesperson confirmed that the story missions won't be accessible unless you pay for the bundle. You won't get access to the story missions for free at all during the invasion season. You'll still be able to pay for access to them after the season is over. So for those that are hoping like, oh, well, when it's over, maybe they'll unlock it. No, they're not going to unlock it. And so we will see how they handle all this. And season 6 is supposed to come out when? August 10th?
August something.
August 10th. And so we'll see about all this. And like Ed brought up, it will be interesting to see, will every season from now on come with a story thing, or will it be every other season that I'm paying $15?
I honestly don't think it'll be every season because Aaron Keller was saying, hey, we're going to be releasing a lot more coming up and we're working really hard. I'm like, oh yeah, so it's not probably going to get here very soon, or if at all.
How often do they drop seasons, Ed?
They drop season. Each one is, I want to say 40 days, 60 days, something like that.
Oh, it's that often.
It's that often, but I could be wrong. But they didn't guarantee that these are coming out with every season. He just said, we have a lot more planned that we're working on. I'm like, yeah, you told us that before. I believe nothing you say about the future. So we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Tim, was there anything else jumped out to you?
Yeah. Well, obviously, I love seeing Keanu Reeves with Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty. That was really cool. Having not played the original game, kind of didn't know what was going on, and I kind of go back and forth. I'm a big CD Projekt Red guy, and I knew this one had kind of fallen by the wayside, and I don't know if I want to jump in yet. But
they've really fixed it. It's an amazing experience now.
Okay,
so
cool.
If that's any kind of
that helps.
hesitation.
That definitely helps. And I love Keanu Reeves anyway, so that was really, really cool.
Game,
but I will say, I think closer to the end, I really liked Clockwork Revolution. I thought it was really Bioshock-ish. We've got some time warp kind of thing going on.
Yes.
Looked really cool. I was like,
I thought it was a new Bioshock trailer.
I thought that was, me and Ed talked about it on the side, or maybe it was me and Chris, but we were like, oh, Bioshock Infinite 2. Like, I just thought it was going to be. Yeah. I mean, that's what it looks like. I mean, all the gadgets and gizmos that you're shooting with and everything. I was like,
in the time period too. So it's just, I'm very curious.
Obviously, gadgets and gizmos aplenty.
Obviously, I want more. Do you like that?
That was perfect.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, Tim.
Yep.
That was like so slick. It almost got past me.
I got you, baby.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. I felt like the Florida Panthers goalie just then. Too soon. Sorry. I'm just saying he let them score 9 points.
Sergei Bobrovsky.
9.
I know.
I'm just saying it was like a football score out there.
Listen, before this series, just to get on a quick little hockey tangent, dude was unstoppable up until this point. I think the Golden Knights had his number. They were like, well, we got you. But he was
tired.
He was amazing during the playoffs. But anyway. Clockwork Revolution looked really, really great.
Yes, that thing looked awesome. I'm super excited. And it was nice that it wasn't just a cinematic. We got to see a lot of the gameplay. Obviously, it's going to be first person and all this stuff. And so we will definitely see how that unfolds. Really love that. Okay, I'm in a conundrum.
Okay.
I'm in the same one, probably.
So I watched the Microsoft conference after it happened because I think I was flying. I think I was traveling the day that
I watched it later.
actually happened. And so we didn't, obviously, me and Tim didn't watch it together. We didn't watch it with Ed. And so Starfield.
Yeah.
During the press conference, because I was watching it and I was watching it quickly, you know how you can hit the right arrow when you're watching YouTube and it'll skip forward like 10 seconds. I skipped the whole thing on Starfield.
Did you really?
I was just
really?
like not interested. I'm like, I'm not doing this. Blah, 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 blah. And then, do you guys remember me talking about liking to be a part of the thing when stuff comes out?
You have FOMO.
And so after the Microsoft conference, they did a 45-minute Starfield
Yes.
That's
breakdown.
right. Yep.
So the next day, I went back and watched that. And I think that's when I went to Facebook and started looking for Xbox Series
Nice.
X. Because there's something about it. But I feel like it's going to break my heart. Like, I don't feel like it's actually going to be good. But it looks like it's got the promise of being really good. And so it's got that weird, like, you remember when No Man's Sky came out?
Yep.
And it just got hammered. And people were like, this game is the worst, blasey, blasey, blah. Then it took them like a year and a half or however long it took. And then it was finally the No Man's Sky that they had promised.
Yep.
That's what I feel like this is setting itself up to be.
Maybe.
And I'm like, well, shoot, I don't want to jump in on it if it's going to be bad at first and only good a year later.
See, I had that exact same thought process, Gabe. And as I'm watching it, I'm like, I played No Man's Sky. I feel like this is No Man's Sky 3.0. And I'm not really like, whatever.
Yeah.
But then I watched that 45-minute thing, and I'm kind of like, oh, and I feel like all that No Man's Sky time had passed, and I'm like, oh, and so now, but they've got so they fixed it. Like, all of a sudden, I was like, okay, now, it's this and this and this, and, okay, you have my attention. I'm so glad I have Game Pass.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so September 6th, barring any, delays, day one on Game Pass, Starfield. So I got to get an Xbox before then and crank everything back up with my Game Pass, because as we've said before, regardless of if you like Xbox first party games or not, Game Pass is the best deal in gaming, and it's not close. Second place is way down the lane somewhere.
Yep.
So, I am at such a conundrum because what I don't want to happen is that, and we've talked about this before, Ed, with like the Nintendo Switch, you really want to try not to buy a console for a game.
Right.
Exactly.
And so you don't want it to be a Starfield machine.
That's
right.
right.
You went and spent hundreds of dollars. And so I was really excited because I was like, you know what? It's not just Starfield I want to play. I do want to play Fable. I do want to play South of Midnight, which are both going to be Game Pass games. I do want to play 33 Immortals, at least try it, which is going to be a Game Pass game. I do want to try Clockwork Revolution, which I don't know if that's going to be, I need to look it up. That's going to be day one with Game Pass. There's no release date, but that's going to be day one with Game Pass. And so I feel like I'd be getting my money's worth. Ooh. So I'm stuck because let's say Game Pass and I buy a used Xbox, you're in it for, let's say, $400 and something. That's a lot of money to be like, oh, I don't like any of these games.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like 5 games, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So hopefully,
True.
And it's like some games that I haven't tried that I might want to go back and try that are all in Game
Well,
Pass.
and with Game Pass, you'd be able to do that
before.
very easily, which is nice.
Yes.
I am with you in that same conundrum, Gabe, because I don't have an Xbox, and I'm like, do I need an Xbox now? I don't.
I know.
Here's the thing. At the end of their conference before the Starfield, though, they did roll out that Series S 1 terabyte black. That looked really good. Now, I don't. Did they
didn't see that,
Yes,
funny enough.
September 1st. I didn't see the price, though. That was the only thing.
I want to say $350.
Was it?
Okay, so the Xbox Series S is $300 as it sits now, the white version.
And
Okay.
this
Is
is a 1 terabyte black.
the
SSD.
Yeah, those are 512. And so this is black SSD. This is the only thing I have a problem with.
Talk to me.
And this is where I get into the numbers a little bit.
Yes.
Remember that the Series S is also weaker than the
X.
Series X's.
Right.
And now, listen, I have a 4K television and all those things, but like, is it really going to matter to me? I don't know. And you could save the money on it. Or do I try to find a $300 Xbox Series X?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
From what I've remember hearing from the community, people love their S.
Yeah.
Like they do not feel like it's a lesser
They're missing something.
product.
Yeah.
But
and
it's
if
$350 for this carbon
for this
black.
new one. You know what?
Yeah.
I gotta
And
say, I'm sold. Like that might do it for me. I just looked. I have a stack of Best Buy gift cards this big, so I could probably get away with it. That honestly was what kind of clicked for me, and they were smart. They did it toward the end. Xbox Series S, 1 terabyte black. It looked really good, nice and clean and slick. My guess is, Gabe, that I think that lower quality might go away for you on this, because I've already said I wouldn't even notice it.
I don't think
you would notice it. Now it's coming from me, who I don't notice any of that stuff anyway. I just want to play my games. But with this, I feel like I never thought I said I'm not going to do an X. I don't play that many Microsoft games to justify that up in price. Yeah. But an S, and especially now with this 1 terabyte, I was like, that's doable very easily. Get some Game Pass and off we go.
And you're not going to be buying discs anyway.
And I'm not going to be buying discs anyway. I say this is looking very promising for me. So it's up there.
I just looked. If I go to GameStop and I trade in my Xbox One X, they'll give me $77.
Oh,
so if I put in that towards buying this, that would put me under $300 at least before tax, and I could get this little cute little black thing.
The S, yeah.
And
yes,
I genuinely think if any of us would notice a difference, it would probably be Chris.
Of course.
Yes,
of course.
And he's not here to talk us out of it.
And speaking of which, also, I didn't hear anyone during watching the Starfield anything. People were blown away. I didn't hear anyone say it looked horrible because it being 30 FPS. That didn't seem to bother
Chris did.
anyone. Oh, did he?
Oh,
Chris,
of course.
called me
Chris
and was very upset that it's
that's hilarious.
30 frames a second.
Because I was
really
like, this
funny.
looks amazing.
I know.
So
I might
Chris
have
will
to
notice
do
the
that.
S.
Oh my gosh.
So here's my thing with Starfield, because I used to be more of a Bethesda gamer with Fallout 3. I started Fallout 4 and bailed. I don't know. There's so much customization, so many intricate things. I don't have the time for that. It's going to take me 3 years to go through this game. And I already spent a year with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and look where that got me. I didn't even finish the dang thing. So I'm worried that if I get into this game, I'm going to bypass a lot of the things that probably are really cool about this game and that they're really excited about.
Oh, yeah.
I don't necessarily care about the spaceship modulation. I think that's cool. Like, I would want a spaceship
I didn't care about that either. Yeah.
Like, but now you have crew members, and so there's so many things to think about in this game. Is it going to be too much for me? Am I going to be just overloaded, and it might make me want to just shut down and not play it?
Wow.
I don't know. The jury is still out. It looks great. I'm not worried about the quality of it. I'm worried about there's just going to be so many things to customize, so many things to build, so many things. What I'm worried about is the FOMO of not maximizing what this game can do for me, and the time it's going to take to do it. Because as it is, like, kids, wives, and 9-to-5s, man, we all got stuff to do. I'm not going to be able to spend. My fear is that I'm going to be spending an hour trying to figure out how to mod up my spaceship, and then I've lost all that time where I should be doing missions or should be exploring or doing something. But no, I'm playing with this and trying to figure out what's what. Great feature to have. Very cool. Very like over the top and very intricate. Is that just going to just exhaust me, basically? That's what I'm worried about.
As someone who likes to go into a map and wander around, I can't wait to play this with Sarah because
there you go.
She loves to just wander and explore.
Yep.
And I've when it comes to like peripherals, I am Tim Router. Give me the default. I've got my consoles, but that controller and watch.
Beautiful.
The Starfield.
Beautiful.
That's the first time I've ever sat up at a peripheral and been like, wait, what
is wrong with us?
I know.
I did the same thing.
Yep.
That's so
I don't even
funny.
like that crap. I don't even wear a watch.
It's genius. And it comes in the carrying case.
Yes.
Like they went.
There's no way I'm going to be able to afford it.
No, not at all. But
I'm so mad about all of this.
This is the dedication that Bethesda has, and in partnership now with Microsoft. Like, I gotta hand it to them. They're pulling out all of the stops, and I hope for their sake that this game does what I think it will for them. Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
After Redfall, I said they need to hit with this Starfield.
Yeah.
They need to, and I was so happy that for them and for Microsoft that they did, because this is exactly the response and reaction they needed to get from this game, because good for them.
I just hope it goes good. Oh my god!
Did anybody get Mass Effect vibes from it too? I got a little bit of some Mass Effect vibes because of the planetary exploration. You can go in and grab resources. Now, nothing like what Mass Effect was. Just, hey, scan this planet and mine for resources, versus you going in there, finding the mine, killing everybody in that mine, getting the resources or whatever you would do in Starfield. But yeah, I kind of got this like Mass Effect kind of vibe, which is really cool. I just it just sounds so huge that I would just be like, oh, where am I going to go?
Yeah.
What am I going to do? But that's the beauty of it. You can do anything. And they kept saying that over and over again. The customization that you can do is just insane. And so kudos to them. That's great. I'm not one of those. Give me whatever the default, give me a gun. As long as I can level that up and get things going and go where I want to go and, clear out where I need to clear out. Let's go. Mm-hmm. So interesting.
Man, oh man. Yeah. All right. We got to keep this party going.
Man.
All right. What else? Let's see. Towerborn was something else that stuck out to me.
Okay.
I don't know what it was. Every now and then something will just grab you, whether it's art style or not exactly knowing what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what happened with Towerborn, where I was like, I don't know what's going on here.
Right.
Yeah.
But it looked like a fun little co-op beat 'em up game. So I thought that one looked really cool. Anything else from the...
Not for me, I don't think.
No, not really.
Not for you. You know what's funny? When I went back and watched the... Microsoft Extended, they showed a game called The First Descendant.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, did they show that at the other thing? And they hadn't. And that grabbed my attention too. I was like, okay, doggone it. That looks cool as well.
I think I saw a thumbnail of the trailer for that, and I was the same way. I was like, wait, did I see this? I haven't watched it yet, but it looked like it. I'm definitely.
Yeah, The First Descendant, I think it looks really cool. It could be an Anthem type thing where it's like, that looks dope and everybody hates it.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, The First Descendant.